Oh, let's see. Is it time yet? Another minute. Hey, Tom. You're in here a little bit early. Oh. Ooh, I'm going to have to tone those lights down. They're a little bit bright. All dressed up and nowhere to go. I figured since I was changing things, since I'm inside and first time I've done any of the lives and any of the coffee chats inside, if I was going to surprise y'all being inside, I might as well change everything. Yes, I own clothes besides bib overalls and gray pocket t-shirts. Not much. Nothing white, nothing with a tie. Well, it is 6 o'clock. It's time to start the show, but I'm going to wait a few extra minutes. Since you and I are the only ones here, Tom, I'm going to give some folks a chance to come on in, because if it's just going to be you and me, I can call you on the phone. Oh, me. Now, this would be funny. My first live stream with nobody here but a moderator. Not that you're nobody, Tom, but I mean, I figured Mary Grace would be here by now. I figured June Carden would be here by now. It is 6 o'clock. Yeah, it's 6 o'clock. 6:01 as a matter of fact. Usually June's here ahead of time. She's waiting on the show by a couple of minutes. Oh. Yeah, they will show. Sandy Wilkerson, I believe you're a newbie, aren't you, Sandy? I don't think I've seen you in here before. I might be wrong. Lord knows I don't have a memory. And we're starting a little bit late today. Show usually actually starts at 6 o'clock, but since the only two people here was Tom, one of the moderators on the show, and a friend of mine from up New York, and me, we figured we'd just sit here and give other folks a chance to come in. Is this your first visit to Mountain Crest Farm, Sandy, or to the live stream? Drifter finally made it to a live show instead of watching it afterwards. And Tom, Drifter does know that he was the one that won the peanuts the first time. I told him go look at he commented on another video, and I told him go take a look at such and such a video, and when you do, you're going to say dang. He came back and commented dang. Oh, me. Oh, okay, Sandy. I don't have much of a memory, and it's not age. My mother said I had no memory when I was a kid, so. Actually, I've got a lot of hard drive. I just don't have any RAM. If it happened recently, I don't know what happened. If it happened 20 years ago, I can almost do a conversation word for what we talked about. Yeah, Drifter, you need to make these things, because all of them won't be on live streams, but I have some other giveaways coming up, and they won't all be on live streams. Sometimes they'll be just regular videos during the week. Let's see. Did everything work out all right like it was supposed to, Sandy? I hope so. Yeah, it's plain pine shelving. I did put one thin coat of cherry on it, but you really can't tell. Giddy up, gals, here. You made it to another one. 2 in a row, giddy up. No, were you here last week, or was it the week before? It'll become a habit, and you'll be in here all the time. That is awesome, Sandy. How long ago? I just had cancer surgery last January, and then radiation in February. And so good, I'm looking good too. You got some time behind you? Well, nobody else is coming in yet. And it's almost 5 minutes after. Okay, 5 minutes after, I will start what I was going to talk about this evening, because it is always about homesteading, and it is always subtopic of something about homesteading. And I got one for tonight, but let's give other folks a little bit of time to get here. Are you down to one every 6 months, Sandy? So far I'm doing one every 3 months. They said that'd be for 2 years, and then it would be. They said less often. They didn't say how much less often. Hey, Patricia, how you doing tonight or this afternoon? 1 year. Awesome, Sandy. That is really good. Yeah, I was just fixing to tell them about that, Tom. It is 6:05, so I'm going to go ahead and start the show. A little bit of house cleaning right here at the first. First of all, for y'all that have been here before, since I'm inside now, and you've never seen the live stream from inside, and you haven't seen very many of the other ones from inside, and, making a big change like that, I thought I would also show you, I don't just have bib overalls and pocket t-shirts. I do actually have nice shirts. Nothing white, no ties, but I do have nice shirts. But anyway, other house cleaning. Let's see. If anybody is interested in raising pigs, Tom, I think, just posted the link. I do have a book out. Yesterday I couldn't spell pig farmer. Today I are one. Amazon link down below, and I think Tom just posted it. Anything that anybody gives on Super Chats goes directly to supporting the channel. It doesn't support my house or anything. All it does is support the channel. Better equipment, better camera equipment, things like that. What else? Oh, in the, I don't know if I've got it in the description or not. If I don't, it will be very shortly. My favorite charity. If y'all have extra bucks that you just want to throw somewhere and you have no idea where, I've got a PayPal donation link in the description. That is not my favorite charity. Don't donate to me. If you have some extra money that you want to donate, my glasses are reflecting terrible. If you have some extra money you just want to donate somewhere, my favorite charity is a part of the American Cancer Society. Now, I'm not fond of the ACS as a whole, the big ACS. But they have a program called Hope Lodges. When you live over 60 miles from where you're being treated, they will put you up for free. And these are not dumps. We're not talking about hostel. We're talking about they put you up nice. They take care of you. Their goal is to make it another home away from home. And I believe it's down in the description. There's a link to the Atlanta Hope Lodge. Put up with me for 2 weeks. And if you just have some money you want to throw to a good charity, donate to the Atlanta Hope Lodge. They are awesome. Anybody that lives over 60 miles away from where they're being treated, they put you up for free as long as they got room. Yeah, I can't say enough about them. Back several months back, I don't know, April, May, there's a video about the Atlanta Hope Lodge. If y'all want to see it, it's back there. But I'd appreciate anybody that wants to send them some money. Let's see, what else? Got the link to the book, told you about that. There's a link down in the description, just a general Amazon link. If you're already donating somewhere else to somebody else, or buying something through somebody else's link, that's fine, don't change. But if you go to Amazon and buy things and you're not going through somebody else's link, there's links to some products down there, but there's also just a general Amazon link. You click it, and anything you buy on Amazon, I get a few pennies off of it. I'd appreciate it. It doesn't raise the cost of what you're buying at all. But if you're not using anybody else's Amazon link, use mine. Now, tonight's show. It's aimed mostly at beginner homesteaders. I know when I started doing this, first of all, I was a townie. I wasn't from the country at all. I wasn't from the city, but I wasn't from the country. And I didn't know what I was doing out here. I moved out to some acreage out town 7 or 8 miles away, and started playing at homesteading, or trying to be serious about it, and didn't have a clue what I was doing. One of the first places I looked to see how to do things was YouTube. And YouTube is a good source, okay? I'm not going to say it's not. YouTube is an excellent source. However, there's all kind of channels on YouTube. There are people on YouTube that have homesteading channels that, number one, they don't know what they're talking about, and number two, it's this commercial business for them. You have to watch out for them. I'm not going to name channels. In this whole thing, I'm not going to name channels. But I'm going to tell you, there are ones that if every single time you go, now YouTube puts ads on channels that have over 1,000 subscribers that are monetized. That I have ads on mine. I don't control that. I can turn them totally off, but I don't control what ads they put or where they put them. But if you go to a channel that is absolutely nothing but trying to sell you something, or they always have a sponsored product in the video. I mean, I'll have a sponsored product occasionally, very rarely, but you go to some of them and there is always a sponsored product. They're trying to sell you something. That's the point of the video. They usually don't know what they're talking about. And if I were y'all, I would avoid them like the plague. They usually are very well run businesses. They have a lot of subscribers and they are very well run businesses. The other kind of channel to stay away from is somebody who started homesteading last year, has been doing this for all of 6 or 8 or 9 months, and is suddenly an expert. They might be an expert on everything. They might be an expert on 1 or 2 things. But they are always an expert, and they don't say, here's my experience. They just flat tell you what to do. And I'll give you an example, and I'm not going to name the channel. There's a homesteading channel that, it's small. It's small when you compare it to the channels that have 100, 200, 300,000 subscribers, but it's bigger than mine. He and his family have been doing this for a year and a half. And I guess it's about 2 years they've been doing this. And they got pigs. And his boar hurt him bad. Hurt him real bad. Several months back. And because of that, he did a video saying that raising pigs was dangerous. Just flat out. Raising pigs was dangerous. They're getting rid of theirs. They're going to stick to cows and horses. He did several things wrong that got him hurt. It wasn't that he was raising pigs and pigs are dangerous. He had 4 boars on the property. He had his stud boar that he used to get his sows pregnant. And he had 3 other boars that were from a previous litter, and why in the world he didn't castrate them, I don't know. But he had 3 other boars that he kept in the barn. He released them, they ran over the fence where the stud boar was, and everybody's running up and down the fence wanting to get in a fight. Boars fight, that's just the way it is. And there was a little bit of the electric fence on the boar side, the main boar's side. He went in there to fix it. Okay, you've got angry boar wanting to get in a fight with 3 other smaller boars that are wanting to get in a fight and prove that they're big men. And what does he do? He turns his back on the main boar. Now he lures him away with some food, but then he comes back to fix the fence and turns his back on the boar. Folks, I don't care what breed you've got. I don't care if you've got different breeds of pigs. I don't care if you're raising another kind of animal. Get in the way of a stallion when he's in heat and see what happens. You're going to get hurt. Horses are going to hurt you. Get in the way of a bull when it's time to breed a cow. You're going to get hurt if you get in between them. It wasn't pigs. Number one, his choice of breed was poor, very poor. He chose a breed that doesn't have the best reputation for being docile. Number two, no idea of animal husbandry. He lets boars get on both sides of a fence and then he turns his back on his main boar. You know, y'all have heard me talk about my boar, Roscoe. 900 pounds of large black pig. Still has his tusks. I love Roscoe to death. He's a big baby. He comes running across the woodland toward me, and people think, oh, he's going to hurt Bob. No, he flops down at my feet and wants a belly rub. But I wouldn't get between him and another boar. I don't have a tattoo right here that says stupid. Anybody that does get between a couple of boars has that tattoo. And you got to be careful of channels that will give you, based on one experience, this is good or this is bad or you ought to do this or you ought to do that. No matter what information you get on the internet, anywhere on the internet, YouTube or anywhere else, including my channel, I don't care what information you get on the internet. I don't care what information you get on the internet. Before you put it in the bank and bank on it, verify it. Check my information out. If I tell you something you're interested in, if you buy my book about how a beginner raises pigs, check it out. Don't just say, well, Bob said to do this, so do it. It's a good book. It's good information. But I'm just a guy you met on the internet. So check your information. There's between the commercial channels that aren't there to teach you anything and they don't know anything. There's one in particular that I can think of that he and I have done most of the same things. He does not have cattle, which I do. He doesn't do pigs. I do. He did do goats. I did. I've had a small goat dairy, 20 dairy goats 15, 16 years ago. He has a few chickens, a yard flock of chickens. I used to have 100 layers. What else? Bees. He's got either 2 or 3 beehives. I used to have 66 beehives. He's been doing it for about this time last year, maybe a little bit earlier in the year, maybe July of 2018. Yeah, well, I started doing it in 2004. Don't have them anymore because of health issues. But I had 66 beehives. But he's an expert on bees. Just ask him, he will tell you. And he's an expert on goats. And just ask him, he will tell you. And I shake my head every time I hear him say something about goats. Just, folks, we're all just something you found on the internet when you did a search on YouTube. That's all we are. Some of us know what we're talking about. Some of us don't. Some of us don't on purpose. We're just trying to sell something. And some of us just, we think because something happened to us one time, we're an expert on it. You beginning homesteaders, remember, there's a lot that you do on the homestead that can get you hurt. If you're from town, never lived out in the country, you probably never touched a chainsaw. Chainsaw will hurt you bad and it'll hurt you fast. Don't go watching one video. I know a couple of videos on some channels that I really like, but I don't like their chainsaw videos. Matter of fact, if I want to see how to do something with a chainsaw, I don't go to any homesteaders channel. I go to a guy named, he's out in the Pacific Northwest, I think he lives in Bend, Oregon, and he's got a tree service. And if you want to see how to do things with a chainsaw and do them safe and do them well, now he's a company, so you have to adapt some of his stuff. But if you want to see how to take a tree down, go to a website called August, like the month, August Huncke, Huncke or ICKE. He'll show you how to bring a tree down safely where you don't get hurt. Watching his videos has saved me from getting hurt a few times. I'm 64 years old, been running a saw since I was 13, and I've learned things watching his videos. He's somebody I trust. But just be careful, because there's a lot of stuff you have to do on the homestead that you can get hurt bad. And you don't want to be watching one video and taking it as gospel and go do it their way and do it wrong. The pigs. If you don't pick the right breed and you don't know a little bit more about animal husbandry than putting 2 boars together or getting them close enough they want to get together, you don't need to be learning from somebody who's had pigs for all 6 months. Let's see. Let me catch up on, I know, these glasses, I've got a light thing that I'll do a video on. Saved about $160 with the way I did my lighting, but I'm going to have to tone it down some because it's reflecting bad. Let's see what's going on in the chat. See if Imagine Acre, he's here. Oh, who else? Dave, do you know, is Chad or Shelby in here? I hadn't looked back. Uh, let's see. Give me just a second, folks. I know Tom's greeting everybody, but I just really hate missing people who have taken the time to say hi. Uh, oh, yes, I did learn a new way to transport pigs. Thomas Schmidt Homestead. If y'all don't know him, he's got a good channel. Go over there and visit him. He was down here from New York. We do allow Yankees on the property on rare occasion. And Tom was down here Monday. And I sent him home with a pig. Well, problem is, Tom and Dawn were down here in a Honda Accord. And a Honda Accord is not set up to haul pigs. Now, I didn't send them home with a great big pig. I sent him home with one that's about 3 months old. I'd say he's probably 50 to 60 pounds. And he wasn't that big. Maybe, I don't know if y'all can tell proportion-wise, but looking at my shoulders, he was maybe that long. He wasn't that big, but you got to remember, a pig is nothing but a solid chunk of muscle. That's all that's there, is a muscle and a brain and a lot of activity. And so he had to figure out how to get this pig home to New York in a Honda Accord, and he went in the back seat. Tom went down to Tractor Supply and bought a pet carrier. He didn't buy a cage because then, pigs do poo and they do pee, and a crate, they just go through onto the seat. So he bought a pet carrier because, the bottom half of a pet carrier is basically a bowl. It's a square bowl. And the top half is shaped the same way, just a little bit taller. He goes and gets a pet carrier that won't fit in the back seat of the car. Not when it's put together. He had to put the bottom of the pet carrier in sideways, then turn it flat, then put the top of the pet carrier in, turn it sideways, then and screw it to the bottom half, and then put the pig in. Now, Tom said when he got home to New York, he actually got the pet carrier out without taking the pig out and taking the pet carrier apart. I would like to see that because I saw how it went together going in, and I would love to see it. Let's see, anybody else? Oh yeah, hit the like button if y'all are enjoying it. If you're not enjoying the show, if you don't like the video, don't say that you like it. Let's see. It was fun. Yeah, I bet it was, Patricia. Patricia, if I don't learn something every single day, it's a wasted day. I usually learn something whether I want to or not, and quite often it's the school of hard knocks. I'm bad about, do something stupid and then learn the lesson instead of do it right, find out and do it right the first time. I'm bad about doing exactly what I just suggested y'all do. When I was a kid, my dad, which by the way, yesterday would have been my father's 100th birthday. I didn't even realize it until yesterday afternoon, but my old man would have been 100 years old yesterday if he was still alive. But anyway, I used to drive him nuts when I was a kid because he'd buy me models. I used to love to put together model airplanes, World War II type airplanes, P-51s, things, all sorts of World War II airplanes. He'd bring a model kit home, and I would go in my room, and next thing you know, I'd be back out there. Hey, Dad, I'm having a problem here. Bob, did you read the instructions? No, I just started putting it together. Go read the instructions. If you read the instructions and you can't put it together, then come get me. So I'd go back to my room and I'd wait about 5 minutes, come out now. Dad, I read the instructions and I still can't figure it out. And it was something that he'd do in about 5 seconds. So I'm bad about doing the opposite of what I suggested y'all do earlier. But I'm not quite bad now that I'm 64. I've learned some hard lessons the hard way, and now I try to find out ahead of time. So let's see, what else? Really? Well, you don't think that Mary Grace is home yet? Oh, they were going back over. Weren't they going back to Jim's brother's house before they came home? I was just thinking that video she posted last night was from home. But come to think of it, it was shot at her brother's place. I could tell by the background. Hey, Gene, how you doing? You've been in before. You just a little late today. Did you forget that? Did you do like Tom did last Sunday? Y'all know Thomas Schmidt Homestead. Tom was supposed to be in the live stream last week. We had it all worked out. He was going to be here. He was going to be in the live stream, which starts at 6 o'clock Eastern time. And he was visiting another channel, Two Seaters Homestead. I think I'm leaving a word out. I'm not sure. Tom will tell you. He was visiting over in Alabama, and he said, "Oh, I guess I better get going if I'm going to make it to Bob's in time for live stream at 6." And then he realized Alabama's on Central Time. He didn't have a snowball's chance, and you know where, of getting here in time for the live stream. So they watched it over there. That's why he was here on Monday. But let's see. Well, thank you, Gene. Or are you telling Tom you like his? Two Seaters Micro Farm. There you go, Tom. Sorry about that. There goes my bad memory. I couldn't remember the whole name of that channel. That's some pretty nice folks over there too. They're just plain old kind of. I'll tell you what. Okay, I told you what channels don't watch for information because it might be dangerous or it might just be wrong. You know what I try to watch? I try to watch folks that just plain old folks. Nothing fancy about them. Nothing fancy about the videos. Now, I'll be the first one to admit I happen to like editing videos. So I put a little bit, I don't put a ton, but I put a little bit of effort into doing some fancy stuff on the videos and things like that. But for the most part, mine don't look like professionally done videos. And those are the kind of channels I go to. I go to channels that's just folks doing things that I'm interested in and happen to hold a camera up and look at it and talk. Whether it's their phone, whether it's a inexpensive action camera, a GoPro knockoff, which I've got a couple of those, or, I just go to folks that have a channel like mine. I don't see her in, I don't think she's in here today. She was actually here last week, first time she'd been in a live stream. But how many of y'all go to Out West Homestead? Susie and Bill out there in New Mexico. I like that channel. I like Tom's channel. It's homesteading. Nona Grace's isn't really homesteading, but I love going to Mary Grace's. If y'all have not been to Mary Grace and Jim's channel, well, it's Mary Grace's channel. It's not Mary Grace and Jim. And the channel name is Nona Grace, Nonnagrace. If you have not been to that channel and you like laughter, go. It's not homesteading. They got a lot fancier house than I do. They're just plain old nice folks. But Mary Grace laughs and laughs, and her laugh will make you laugh. If you're feeling a little bit bummed, go watch a Mary Grace video. You won't be bummed after that. But I just like going to channels like that. And those are the kind of people that will tell you how to do things that are right. They've been doing stuff for years. That's who I go to learn. I don't go to somebody that started last year. I don't go to somebody who has a big commercial channel trying to sell me everything. They might tell me the best way to prop up a piece of wood to cut it. Come to find out, it's a pair of expensive factory-made foldable sawhorses that they have on an Amazon link. Give me 4 2x4s in 10 minutes. I'll build 2 sawhorses that are just as strong. you got to be careful about who you're listening to, because people will steer you wrong for their own benefit. Let's see. And because they don't know. That guy with that is pig herding, he just doesn't know. He doesn't. He's not trying to give out bad information. He is giving out bad information, but he's not trying to give out bad information. He just did the wrong thing with the wrong breed of pig and wound up getting hurt real bad because of it. So, kind of take everything, including this channel here. Take everything you hear on the internet or on YouTube with a grain of salt. Let's see. What else am I missing? Yeah, Drifter, Susie and Bill are good folks. Okay, let's see. Anything else I wanted to cover? Really, that's about it. Let's see. We've been going for about a half an hour, and I don't like to take up tons of y'all's time just trying to stretch out the amount of time that I'm on a live stream. Although, a 3-hour live stream, if it was a good live stream, that would be great. Really build up watch time. And watch time and number of subscribers. If you got your own YouTube channel, those are the two important things. But, excuse me, I had some eggnog just before I started the show. It was not spiked eggnog, so y'all just get that thought out of your mind. But I had some eggnog just before the show started, and it's kind of causing a little bit of extra air. But a couple things I want to touch base before we go. I know Tom's been putting it in there, but I'm going to remind y'all. I do have a book out about how a beginner raises pigs. It is based on several years of experience. I've had the book out I published it, I think, on my birthday 3 years ago as a birthday present to myself. And at that point, we had already been raising pigs for a while. So there's a link for the book. It's Amazon Kindle book is the only way it's available. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get 2 books a month. Amazon Prime has a lending library. You can borrow 2 books a month. I don't know how it works. I've never done it. But that way you can get the book for free. Or if you're not an Amazon Prime member, I believe it's $7.99. It might be $8.99, but I think it's $7.99 on Amazon Prime. I told you about my favorite charity, but I'm going to tell you again, and if the link is not in the description, I will add it shortly after this is over. My favorite charity is not me. Yes, there is a PayPal link in the description where you can donate to the channel, but that's not my favorite charity. My favorite charity is a place called the Hope Lodge. It's part of the American Cancer Society, and it's the Atlanta Hope Lodge. They let people who are being treated in Atlanta for cancer, who live over 60 miles away from the treatment center that they're being treated at, they let them stay there for free, absolutely free. No charge. It's not like it's not something you pay if you can afford to. You don't pay if you don't. When you're done with your treatments and you go to leave, you just walk out the door and hand them the key. That's it. There'll be if there's not a link down there, there will be shortly. Actually, I think Tom, you've got that link and can put it up. Those folks, I don't donate to big charities. I don't donate to the American Cancer Society, but I do donate to the American Cancer Society's Atlanta Hope Lodge, and that's my favorite charity. So if y'all have a few extra bucks, that's the direction to throw it. What else? If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. I can't tell how many people are in here, and the way I've got it set up on my laptop, I can't tell how many people are in here, and I can't tell how many thumbs ups there are. So I'm just going to ask y'all, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, and when you hit the subscribe button and you see that little bell, click the bell and select all. That way you get notifications every time I put up a video. What else? I guess that about covers it, folks. Really want to thank y'all for coming. I really, really want to thank y'all for coming. These videos, I enjoy doing them. Anybody that's watched me very much knows that I will talk and talk and talk. And you just can't shut me up sometimes. And I love doing these videos. But I do them for y'all. I try to have, my goal with all my videos is to be informative and entertaining, both. Not just informative, because that's boring. That's really boring. That's like sitting in a class and being lectured at. I don't like that. Patricia, thank you. That is very much appreciated. That's a surprise. I'm glad somebody gets enough out of these to do that. But thank you very much, Patricia. But I do these for y'all. And like I say, I kind of got distracted when I saw that super chat pop up. I do these for y'all. I want to be informative and entertaining. I do want y'all to get something out of them. My primary overarching niche is obviously homesteading. But there are lots of sub niches within that. How do you support a homestead when the whole idea is to get rid of that squirrel cage 9-to-5 job? There's how do you save money on a homestead without being deprived? I'll tell you right now, Mountain Crest Farm, our family income, if you were to take what we have coming in the way of dollars and look at the Georgia state poverty level or the federal poverty level, we're below that. We're not poor. See, the government looks at poor one way, and I look at poor another. We're not a poor family. Look at all the computer stuff I got behind me, ham radio equipment. You can live well and be a homesteader without depriving yourself. That's one of the topics I discuss on these sometimes. How to fix your own stuff. That's where you can save tons of money when your deep well goes out. And if you got to hire a well man, there goes $1,000. If you do it yourself, maybe it's only $250 or $300. Little things like that. Mary Grace, you made it in. How are you? Oh, don't apologize for being late. I'm just grateful for you being here, you and everybody else. Oh, you're looking very spiffy. I was kind of thinking that you might say something. I did this, you notice I'm inside. First video I've got some videos inside other than the coffee chats, but I don't know if you've gone back and watched many of my old videos, Mary Grace, but there's a few that were shot inside. But this is the first one I've done inside in at least a year. And I figured since I'm doing a whole new thing, weather's getting bad, it's going to be driving me in. I don't want to be in one week and out one week. I just want to set up a different way of doing it. So I moved in this week, and I figured since I did that and just shocked y'all with that, I would prove I do have clothing other than gray pocket t-shirts and bib overalls. Now, you've seen it. After this week, I'll probably be back to gray pocket t-shirts and bib overalls. But let's see. Thank you, Patricia. I really appreciate that. Enjoy all my videos. That's what I try to do. Let's see. Mary Grace, I was trying to decide between this one and I got a real, same style, but a real subdued brown on tan, small. I didn't want to look like I was just totally boring. Yeah, so I did a little bit of color. But anyway, I was about to close it out. Told y'all about the book. Told y'all, didn't remind you. You're here now, but I'm going to remind you anyway. Next Sunday, every Sunday at 6 o'clock, we do a live stream. It is always about homesteading, and it is about some subtopic within homesteading. I think I've told y'all about everything. Oh, yeah, about hit the thumbs up. If you hit the thumbs down, that's fine. Tell me why down in the description. Subscribe. I've already told you subscribe. Hit the notifications bell, and click all when it comes up. And as always, no matter what I say in a video, y'all do know the very last of the video is the important part, right? I mean, y'all already know that. The most important thing I can suggest to y'all every time we talk is to remember two things. remember that number one, the tomb was empty. And number two, he is alive. Yes, thank God he is alive. Now y'all go have an awesome week. And I've got to do some adjusting so my glasses don't glare like this next week. Have a good time. See you next week. Bye.